So now, ladies and gentlemen, live and in colour, it's Mr. Wayne Lovejuice.
The other day I produced a Louis, had a chat with an interesting chappie who said that the YouTube algorithms really aren't that happy. If a channel only broadcasts once a week, so we decided we could text ya whenever we've got a piece of news in our new book on the tranche extra. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name's John Downs. I'm the director of the Centre for Fortean Zoology, and being 6:30 on a Wednesday evening, or whatever other time you guys are watching this, because you can watch it anytime you want by clicking the link, I'm here with my old friend Richard Freeman. Richard and I have been mates for a long time, and we have been Did you just fart, Richard?
No, that was the squeaking of your boot on the...
Because once again, if you look here, you can see that I'm wiggling my foot up and down with Richard being in the background. This is because I've been told I have to wiggle my foot up and down to keep the circulation going, so the antibodies can all go and help sort out my injured feet. So that's why I'm sitting here with my feet up and festooned in cushions and pillows. I do apologise for looking quite so lazy and languid, and probably other things beginning with L. But that's the way the world is at the moment, or at least my world. I want to introduce my old friend Richard Freeman, with whom I've been collaborating in Fortean Havoc for the last quarter of a century, because every time Richard comes here to do something, we get together and we talk interesting nonsense, and we do book reviews, because Richard and I are both complete book freaks. So Richard, what have we got today?
We've got The Borderlands by Mike Dash.
That's a bloody fantastic book. I really like it. What do you think, Rich?
Well, when I saw this book advertised, I thought, oh, I've got to get this book. And I entered a competition in Fortean Times to win it. And I saw it in a shop and thought, I'm not going to win it, so I'll buy it. So I brought it from the shop, and then I won the damn competition. So I had 2 copies, one of which I donated to the Occult Library of Cabal, which was the occult society at Leeds University, which apparently is no longer in existence, so I don't know what happened to their occult library. It was all locked up in a cupboard the last time I saw it, so I don't know what happened to it. Anyway, the book itself is one of those books that looks at mysteries in general, but unlike most of them that are called Strange World of the Unexplained, Mysteries of the Unknown, or something like that, this one delves a little bit deeper, and it takes different aspects of Forteana and looks at them and asks, are they really what they seem to be? For example, it rejects the hypothesis of extraterrestrials being behind UFO and abduction cases, which I pretty much agree with. And it covers a whole gamut of things. On the back it says UFOs, ghosts, ESP, lake monsters, cases of teleportation, visions of the Virgin Mary, Bigfoot, Men in Black, alien abductions, phone calls from the dead, predictions, reincarnations, goat sucker, stigmata, ectoplasm, poltergeists, falls of fish and frogs, phantom social workers, spirit photographers, giant snakes or giant snakes, animals encased in solid rock, ghost ships, statues that weep and bleed, psychic warfare, crop circles, bedroom invaders, ley lines, phantom attackers, fairies, children raised by animals, living dinosaurs, hollow earth, incorrupt corpses, mass hysteria, levitation, near-death experiences, the great sea serpent, satanic ritual abuse, mermaids, encounters with devils, sleep paralysis, submarine light wheels, giant penguins, the Mongolian death worm, lizard men, mad gassers, black dogs, all this and much more. It's a really good, well written, thoughtful book that I thoroughly enjoyed. If I had one criticism of it, it's that it puts too much weight on this all being in the mind and not having objective reality. It goes for the sort of Michael Mercer mythic landscape and the cultural source hypothesis. That is, that when you enter an altered state, an altered mental state for some reason, you hallucinate the things from your culture. So in a modern culture, you hallucinate aliens and spaceships because it's the modern day and we have science fiction and we're living in a technological age, where in time before you would hallucinate fairies. Where that falls down is that people still see fairies. And I've never trusted the all in the mind hypothesis at all. Obviously these are tied up in culture, and obviously the phenomenon changes from culture to culture and time to time, but it has some kind of objective reality because there are mass witness reports and things leave behind physical traces. They'll kill animals, they'll leave footprints, they'll leave marks in fields, they'll leave residues. So this wouldn't happen if it was all happening up here. There has to be some sort of external thing going on as well, and that's something that I tackle in my new book, The Highest Strangeness, out next year. Check it out.
So basically, Richard, it's a great book about monsters, ghasts and UFOs.
And a load of other shite as well.
Well, one of the things that's always interested me, I like aubergines, and over the years I have cut God knows how many aubergines in half, and I've never found the patination of the seeds being a verse from the Quran. Every year there are stories about, and often accompanied by very convincing photographs, of how somebody has cut up an aubergine and found the patination of the seeds is a verse from the Quran. Everybody who does this is always a Muslim. Since I first heard about this, and since I first became interested in these things, and we're talking 30 years or so, I must have cut up hundreds, maybe even thousands of aubergines, and each time I have looked to see if the seeds spell out anything in Arabic, and they never do. I think that you're slightly wrong there, Richard. I think that somehow our cultural histories, or the histories of our own particular culture, whether or not it's something we believe in, can influence things in an external and apparently physical way. I think as far as I can see, the only people who ever get a verse of the Quran in aubergine seeds are people who are either Islamic or from an Islamic culture. They don't have to be practicing Muslims, but they're from that culture. Stigmata only appears on the hands and feet of Roman Catholics. I've never known stigmata turn on the hands or feet of anybody who's not a Roman Catholic, even on the hands and feet of non-Catholic practicing Christians, it's always on the hands and feet of a Roman Catholic. What this actually means now, I don't know. But I think somehow these things can and do sometimes have an objective reality.
But Arabic writing is all squiggly. Our Western writing is all angular. Arabic writing is all squiggly, so it lends itself more to being replicated in natural patterns.
That's a good point, Richard, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure that it actually holds water, because I've been examining these stories every time they happen, and they're more than just natural patterns. They really are. They look like they are actual Arabic writing, and I've never seen any natural patterns that look like Arabic writing but don't say anything from the Quran. But then again, I can't read Arabic, so it could always be.
And also, what it is in here is mainly it's saying that it's nothing physical. It's states of mind interacting with your cultural background, and it's obvious that Fortiana, the things in Fortiana, at least some of them are physically real, even if it's for a short amount of time.
Yeah, I think that it is actually that the state of mind can influence the physical reality. We have seen that in, I think that's what things are like poltergeist activity, and again, to go back to stigmata, that the state of mind, the state of somebody's belief can manifest itself in physical forms rather than just hypnagogic or hallucinatory experiences.
But I think there's something external to human beings. I think it's very narcissistic to think that all Fortean phenomena emanate from human beings. I think there is some external things going on here. Well, with cryptozoology, obviously, there are flesh and blood mysterious animals, but with other areas of Forteana, I think there is something external to human beings and separate from human beings that's causing these things.
I agree in some cases, but I think in some of the cases that Mike Dash discusses, that the state of mind can influence the physical reality. But in some cases, I think these things do have an objective reality.
And the other great thing about this book is that at least the hardback edition, but the editions I got were hardback edition. It did come out as paperback as well. But if you've got the hardback edition, the great thing about it is that you can open it up, put it on your head, and have a game of Devonshire Villages